Hey, I'm Jeff Straw. Welcome back to another video. This week we're talking about space. Space in your visual design, space in your photography, and space as a design concept. I wanted to do this new series and really dig into some kind of basic principles of design and see how they affect your brand and how they affect the visual representation of your brand. And so I also decided to quickly knock up a new step for you guys so that you could look at the difference between this and the normal look and feel I have from my YouTube videos and really illustrate this concept of space and why it's so important. Right now, the only thing you're looking at is me. You're not looking at the little skull that's usually over here, my guitar that's over here, my speakers that are back there, and my posters. Right, all that stuff's still there. I just knocked up well, I'll show you behind the scenes. So I wanted to talk about space, and I wanted to talk about why it's so important to use space, especially in your marketing materials, whether you're a musician or a brand, and because so many of these things are parallel. And I think that one of the cool things is that I do bring this music industry experience, this 2 decades of music industry experience into my work, and so even when I'm not working in the music space, I bring this sort of music marketing and music eye for things, which, you know, is definitely a unique angle. And I think what brand doesn't want to look like a rock star, right? Let's be honest. So I wanted to look at a few album covers that I think are just quintessential uses of the concept of space. I wanted to look at a few press photos of artists that are, you could pull almost any of them. This is just a very small sampling, and they all kind of follow this same methodology. And then we'll also look at some brands and see how they're using space in their imagery as well. First and foremost, let's look at Sade, Love Deluxe. One of my all-time favorite records, absolutely stunning masterpiece of work. The songwriting, the singing, the production, the playing, I mean, like, end to end, this thing is magical. So the photo of Sade was taken by Albert Watson. Albert's an award-winning photographer and has done a lot of work within the music space as well, tons of Rolling Stone covers and things like that. Fantastic artist and photographer in his own right. So you pair him with someone as beautiful as Sade for a concept like this, and it's just kind of magic in a bottle. So one of the things I love about this cover is the softness and sensitivity that's conveyed, as well as the fact that you feel like you're sharing this ridiculously intimate moment with her. And so all those things combine to just, you know, really cement the visual identity for a record that also feels like a very intimate moment with this artist. So again, it's that notion of clarity, the brand, the visual imagery is pairing very nicely with the sonic imagery. So it's also this use of space. Easily they could have put her in a city or in a bedroom or something like that, but instead they chose this stark white background to really draw attention to the name of the album and her image. This next one I wanted to look at is the Deftones White Pony album. And this is clearly not a photo, it's a designed element by a designer named Frank Maddox. And he's worked extensively with bands like the Deftones, like Linkin Park, like Cypress Hill. Put up a little bit of his work here. His work doesn't scream space and wide open space for the most part. And so another reason why I think that these covers stick out even amidst the rest of his body of work, and certainly within the rest of the body of work of the Deftones. So what this does is, for this particular release, it really draws your eye to that white pony. So next up, I wanted to look through a few press photos and also showcase this use of space and why it's so important, and really just focusing the viewer's attention onto the subject, namely the artist in this case. Let's look at the reggaeton Latin sensation named Ozuna. This is a nice sort of closely framed shot of him, beautifully lit and beautifully done shot for him, as you would expect for an artist of his caliber. This photo was by Gio Alma. Showcases a very nice sort of off-white background for him, little hint of purple or pink. And if you look at his color palette within his brand and his music videos, he's got lots of shades of sort of purples and pinks and blues in many of his videos. So this is super on brand for him. But again, just drawing attention to the artist. The other one I wanted to showcase, which is a very different approach and different take, but something you see a lot more within EDM, which is something that's not quite so face forward, and that's Excision, one of the kings of dubstep. And this photo is by Terrence Blanton. showcases a very different vibe for this artist, right? He's a pretty dark and heavy dubstep producer who you can tell he's got the smoke going, he's got this fluorescent green light, it's very sort of alien and very uneasy, and he's not looking directly at the camera, right? So all of those things help capture the vibe and essence of this photo, but most importantly is the use of space. So yes, we have this green smoke, which is definitely one additional element along with the artist. However, it really does simply help to draw more attention to the artist himself. Lastly, we'll just take a quick look at this Oliver Heldens press photo. This is much more your standard face forward bust crop, if you will, and all in all, this is indicative of press photos that you'll see today for DJs, producers, and any solo artists. Fantastic use of space within all of this style of photography. So if you are a DIY type out there, you are just getting your music career up and running, what can you learn from these? Like, you don't have to go and work with a super famous photographer to get some of these. You can do something like this, which is pretty easy to do, whether it's against a plain wall in your house, or you go and buy some foam core board or something like that from a hobby shop, and even just with an iPhone and a window light, you can pretty easily capture some really good looking photography and utilize this concept of space, whether you're trying to work on your own album cover or just get press photos that will help you get up and running and be taken a little bit more seriously for your social media presence and things like that. Really helps focus the attention of the viewer onto you. So taking a quick look in the brand space, I mean, this is such a wide open notion, just this word brands, but I wanted to look within three really popular everyday sort of industries: computers, cars, and watches, and take a quick look at a top brand, in my opinion, of people that are killing it, and just showcase how they're using, right on their main homepage for that particular product, how they're utilizing space to draw your attention in on the product that they are pushing or talking about. First up, in the realm of wristwatches is Movado, obviously a very well-known brand, and just right away I did a quick Google search for them. This was the page that I hit for this blue sort of steel look watch called their Bold Thin, and not only is the watch face itself a ridiculously powerful use of space, the landing page for that watch also is a fantastic use of space. Tons of white space, really showcasing the one call to action, which is trying to get you to add this to cart, and the watch itself. Next up, the kings of product marketing, Apple, looking at their new Imac line. We've got these two images I wanted to showcase. One that's actually showing an Imac in use and showing some apps on screen, and the second, as you scroll down, showcases the two sizes of computer, and they kind of slowly come together. But the animation aside, the product photography is set in a sterile white environment to really showcase that use of space and draw attention again to the product in question. You see this all the time all over Amazon, right? It's no coincidence that lots and lots of product photography is just on a simple white background. I'm not saying it's the most exciting product photography. I personally like to do stuff that tells a story. However, there's a time and a place for this, and it is super important to also have this sort of supporting look and feel to your stuff. Last up is Chevy. I just got a new truck, so this fits right into my headspace. Here's taking a look at their new truck line for 2021, and this is not a stark white background, but it is a photo that's still out in the middle of basically nowhere, and showcasing these two of their new trucks right here in the sort of salt flats, it looks like, somewhere, and able to take something as large as a truck and still put it in enough empty space to where the viewer and the audience only has the choice to focus on it. You know, when you look here and you start to scroll down and you see some of these on the road, it's harder to draw out the product from the background. And so clearly you want to see the product in action or in use as well when you're a brand and showcasing off product photography. But I do think that this is a really powerful sort of header image. This was one of the 7 design principles. I really wanted to dig in. I'm going to start doing more of these. I hope you like this concept. I hope you like this idea for a series. If you do, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So with that, I'm Jeff Straw. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate you spending a couple minutes of your day with me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends, and I will see you soon.